Hello, this is Adama Blai'a, author of The Catholic Guide to Miracles. I'm here to answer a few questions that have been given to me for a video response. The first one is, why does God do miracles, and why has he done them in the past? There's, of course, a few answers to this. The first and most important is signs of Jesus' divinity. They were done at the time of Jesus' life in order to prove to the people that he was who he said he was. Secondly, they were recorded in the scriptures in order to provide proofs to us, assuming that we believe the testimony of the witnesses that is recorded. These are proofs to us of his divinity. Secondly, miracles are done for an encouragement to us in our own times, when miracles are done such as by saints, or by the application of the relics of the saints, or just through the sacramental graces of the church. There have been miraculous events. And of course, we are reminded that a miracle, for instance, a healing, has to be instantaneous, complete, lasting, and not explainable by other medical means. So the most common type, which is the healings, is still done in our day pretty commonly, and those that are done as a validation of a saint's beatification or canonization are basically subjected to the very highest medical standards that the church can find, which is usually outside medical doctors and scrutiny. Finally, God may do miracles simply because he wishes to. They may not become known to us or inspire a particular person's faith, but some action that is above nature, supernatural, that God does, sometimes is merely because he wishes to. And so we can't limit God in terms of only looking at miracles in terms of their impact on humans. The next question is how to basically discern or tell whether a miracle is of God or is a trick from the devil. The first thing about this is that God can create. The devil cannot create anything. God can heal because healing is a form of creation. The devil cannot heal, but he can merely either take away a pain that he has caused, simply stop causing that pain to the body, making it seem like a healing, or he can cause a sensation to mask a pain for some limited period of time, making the person think that they have been healed. There's a few hallmarks of a trick of the devil in terms of healings or other miracles. First off is the fruits of them, as Jesus tells us to judge things by their fruits. If an action leads to further union with God, pursuing of God, closeness with God, over time, that is a good fruit, and that would lean towards judging something to be from God. If an action that happens that might be a miracle causes confusion, fear, or a distancing from God and a lack of trust in God, that is clearly something from the devil. Secondly, we can take a clue from the healing miracles that the church has identified, and that is that whatever benefit that seems to have happened needs to be lasting. Things that the devil does almost inevitably, fairly quickly, revert back to their other state or makes things worse. They don't continue to be good and lead to continued comfort and healing. The next thing is there are things such as the miracle of the sun that happened where they are above nature. So the sun, in the natural course of things, does not dance around in the sky or seem to crash to earth. This action being above nature is something that only God can do. Now, the devil could create the illusion of one person's mind perception that the sun was moving, but not in tens of thousands of people who aren't necessarily under his sway. So a possessed person may be given the illusion of something like that because the devil has dominion over their senses. But something that was experienced by tens of thousands of people is we cannot assume that all those people were under the devil's dominion and able to create that illusion. So that would have been something above nature outside of the normal course of natural events. So these are a few of the things that we can use to discern between the two. The next one would be money. The biggest thing that we see, I think, commonly in all cultures around the world is people charging money for supposed miracles, for healings, for divination, to contact a loved somebody who has died that we loved and want to communicate with them, and the person charging money to do this. That's a big clue, because as we know from Scripture, freely have you been given, freely shall you give. People are not to try to charge money for acts of God as if God is theirs to use as a tool and to be sold. That is often the first and easiest clue that something is not of God but is of the devil. Okay, I hope that answers those questions.